Hello, good afternoon, guys. Let's just give it another 3 or 4 minutes. We had about 20 guys registering. We'll just wait and see. Okay, guys, as we give it one more minute for other people to join, we shall begin with a round of introductions, and I'll just go with the names as they appear. All right, so allow me to welcome everyone to this NLP Meet. We wanted to have the meeting from a perspective of practitioners and builders who actually use language, and just to have a conversation around this. So I think firstly we'll just begin with introductions of ourselves and maybe what we do in relation to language AI and language technologies. There's no right answer. Even just being interested in language technology is fair. Language AI is fair enough. So I'll go first. My name is Brian Omwenga. Unfortunately, I've just come from a short workout. So believe me, I'm a true representation of my profile picture. So kindly allow me not to turn on my camera for the time being. I work in a startup called Tech Innovators Network. I'm the team lead, and we do a number of things with language AI. We build chatbots. We've also been attempting to create some language models, and we also have a a project for a local smart speaker that also leverages language AI. So I'll hand over to Angela Kanyi, and we'll just proceed like that. Angela.
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Angela Kanyi. I'm a graduate intern at Tech KE. Yeah. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Christine. All right, we'll skip Christine. We'll move to David. Lemayan.
Thank you so much, Brian, and thank you to the entire team, I think, for organizing this. My name is David Lamayan. I have multiple hats. I'm doing quite a bit of policy support through something called the Qubit Hub. And this is where we are supporting different organizations, government institutions to understand how to approach AI on the continent. And then I also run a startup. I am also a software developer. So in terms of NLP, sort of exploring how to build language models using radio or audio data. And yeah, pretty excited to be part of this COP. Excited. Thank you.
Thanks so much, David. Karibu. Davis Kipchirchir.
Yes, my name is Davis Kipchirchir. I'm a software developer and currently still a student at University of Nairobi. I've been building around the large language model space, dealing with playing around with text to speech and the text to text models, trying to build solutions. I'm involved in a local startup trying to find a legal assistant for the moment, and I'm glad to be part of this conversation.
Thank you, Davis. Edward Ombui, I believe it's Professor Edward.
Good afternoon.
We're doing introductions. Sorry, Prof. Yeah.
Yeah. So my name is Edward from USIU Africa, science technology. So I teach research, artificial intelligence, learning. So those are the courses I teach here. Background, I did for my PhD on NLP and working on hate education, especially with the code switched languages, about on our African languages, African native languages. And I've seen my colleague here been working on the foundational aspects in data sets with a project called Ken Corpus, and to be involved in this ecosystem and to see how we can contribute, especially having our students, undergraduates and graduate students, to do a lot more. So I'm very happy, and I look forward to hearing and learning from.
Great. Feel free. It's a welcoming space. Speak a lot about the work that you do. I think one of the objectives, we'll discuss this a bit later, is also to create networks and to know what everyone else is doing in terms of how we can help one another. So I'll move on to Lilian Wanzari, Dr. Wanzari, introductions.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So it's great to be here. I'm Lilian Wanzari from Maseno University, also working on NLP research. So thank you so much.
Oh, only that, Daktari, I think you also do sign language.
Oh, okay, you wanted the whole spectrum. Yes, so I work on NLP research. So that involves both text, okay, speech, and speech also includes, sign language that Brian has just talked about. So different aspects of speech.
Very good, very good. You might have some aspiring PhD candidates as well. All right, after Dr. Wanzari, Oscar Ondeng, I believe this is the engineer. Oscar.
Yeah, thank you very much. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, so my name is Oscar Ondeng. I'm working at the University of Nairobi, Department of Electrical and Information Engineering. I lecture there. One of the units I lecture is artificial intelligence, hence my interest in this when I got it, together with other electrical engineering units. At the same time, I'm also researching in a space, is not purely NLP, but it's more the space in between computer vision and NLP. Right now, I've been looking a lot at image captioning and visual understanding. So it kind of straddles a line between vision and language. But one of the things I'm interested in is just developing better methods or studying methods in which you're able to essentially caption images and video. So moving from vision and images to explain them in natural language, and that's where the NLP aspect comes in. So I'm interested in just knowing what other people are doing, what I can get involved in, and just how as a community we can really develop this space. So I'm very happy about this initiative. A friend of mine gave it to me, and I thought, yeah, this is very useful, and it's high time that we kind of have this. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Very good, engineer. You share a high school with some of us who are here as well. But something else you mentioned, which is very interesting. Something else that's very interesting, University of Nairobi also just launched their AI school. So happy to know that there are all these activities around AI from University of Nairobi. But the other thing that is also very cool that you've mentioned is this element of images and video, kind of multimodal sort of NLP, which also Dr. Lilian Wanzari is doing from the Maseno side as well. So one interesting thing, maybe one fine day, we should be able to have the community in person, but I think also through here, we can exchange contacts and then see how we can collaboratively work together to get some projects going. So I think that's one of the objectives, and happy and very welcome, engineer. I think next we'll go with Ezekiel Maina.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm Ezekiel Maina. You just mentioned about Maseno University. I'm from there in our lab there with Dr. Lilian Wanzari, and I'm happy to join to the session. Thank you very much.
Karibu sana, karibu sana. We'll go next with Faith Gichana, Dr. Faith. Introductions.
Hi, my name is Dr. Faith, and I am also at Tech Innovators Network in charge of communications. Pleasure to meet you all.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Peter Ndungu, introductions.
Hello, everybody. My name is Peter Ndungu. I'm a freelance software engineer specializing in backend development. I'm looking forward to integrating AI into my apps, so this is a very interesting forum for me. Thank you.
Good. Karibu sana, karibu sana. Paul Munyao.
Hi, you guys. So my name is Paul Munyao. So as Brian has mentioned, yeah, the startup called Tech Innovators Network. So that's where I work. I help with the community of practitioners. So my colleagues are Paul, who's going to introduce himself, Paul Penwell. I also work with Angela, yeah, Brian as well. And it's good seeing you, Engineer Oscar. Karibu sana and feel welcome. And as Brian has mentioned, yeah, it's a safe space. The idea is to grow the community, not of enthusiasts, but also should be a community of practitioners. So feel welcome, guys. And thank you, yeah, for honoring the call for those who got the message. Yeah, back to you, Brian.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Munyao. Then we have Peter Ndungu. Has Peter Ndungu spoken? Peter Ndungu is the startup, right? I believe.
I'm just myself before the former guy.
Exactly. All right, good. Then Paul Penwell, Paul Etchell.
Good afternoon. My name is Paul Penwell Etchell. I am the community developer at Think. So my role has been majorly based around web development. Now, slowly by slowly, I'm getting into the AI space, and it's really interesting what everyone has been doing. And I'm really looking forward to learning more and getting to know everyone, what the NLP community actually has to offer. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Etchell. Peter Matogo.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm Peter Matogo. I'm a software engineer by profession, and I work in various capacities and involved in multiple projects in the industry. A friend shared this link or this session in a forum that I'm in, and I joined it just out of pure interest. Okay, I am keen to see AI being deployed and used in real-world commercial projects, some of which I've also participated in. So any forum which pops up in my radar, which is discussing applications of AI, and again, in real-world commercial scenarios, I'm always keen to join this and just follow along and see how people are using AI. So yeah, purely out of interest is why I joined this session.
Very good, very good. Karibu sana. I don't know whether there's anyone I skipped. Cynthia Amol. Just introductions.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cynthia Amol. I'm also from Maseno University. I'm currently doing my master's focusing on NLP. I work with Dr. Lilian Wanzare and Ezekiel. I'm so glad to be here. Looking forward to the discussion.
Very good. And finally, Christine, I think, Nacelli.
Hello, everyone. I'm Christine Nacelli. I'm studying BSc in Computer Science. I'm interested in AI. That's why I'm here today.
Good, 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 good. Very good mix of individuals, practitioners in the space. Oh, Kelvin Washira, your hand is up. Did I miss you?
Yes, you did.
Oh, sorry, Kelvin. Please proceed.
All right. I'm Kelvin Oshira. I'm a product manager, but I'm also a startup entrepreneur. We are in the build sector because I did civil engineering as my undergraduate. My company is called JungUp. We're building tools for construction, and also we've been implementing AI in that build sector space. So I was just curious because I've been using it for a while. I've won a few hackathons on it. Anytime I pop in, just basically to also learn and also encourage my own use case.
Good. Karibu sana, Kelvin. Thank you very much, guys. The objective, of course, of the meetup is first and foremost to share. So that's why I think we also took a bit of time for people to just introduce themselves and share the work they're doing. So feel free going forward. I think one of the things we'll want to also discuss with you based on the frequency of the meetings is to also open it up to any and every particular individual who wants to be a special speaker for the day itself, who will just want to, let's say, share their projects, share their experiences, share their learnings, share some of their challenges they have, and you know, whatever it is they wish they would want to share, and maybe even just to notify the community or ask the community for some assistance in one way or the other. So prepare yourself if you wish. I think Paul Munyao is around. We'll also discuss based on the frequency of the meetings, and then we'll be able to offer a section of the forum to just listen to each other. That's number one. Number two, based on the objective of bringing the community together, is for us to discuss about some projects, problems, or challenges that we cannot possibly work on as individuals. So there are some NLP challenges, for instance, language data sets, or just doing, foundational language models that can be done by a single individual, but sometimes can be best done collectively, and then shared as well. So that's one of the areas that I also felt that that we can have as an objective of the community. But at the end of the day, we are all members of the community, and we can as well propose, other objectives and other things that we feel that as a community that can be approached as a community, and we can also discuss those and incorporate them as well. I think for me, one of the things that that I've noticed within the space is that there's a lot of discussion around language and language AI, especially in our setting. Amongst the donor community, for instance, the donor community is extremely clear about what they want. They even select the languages they want for us to develop in terms of under-resourced languages. The policy side also seems to be wanting to be organized in some way, shape, or form. But the policy side, I don't know whether we've seen a lot from them. I know Konza people are interested. I invited them to the forum. I know individuals in the government, in the Ministry of Culture are also interested. I invited them into the forum. But I think at the end of the day, all of that will land on us as practitioners. We also invite big tech. Big tech, of course, has very clear intentions based on what they want to do, but they're also part and parcel of the community. The community is open, and they may as well also solve some problems for the community that we as individuals cannot. So with that said, for us, one of the things we had wanted to develop and that we will share with everyone who's here, I think by form of registration, you agree that we can also send some material over to you, is we're going to share two draft documents. We'll share a charter and we'll share a code of conduct, at least for the community. And it's just a one-page document. It's nothing too complex or complicated. And in summary, it is what I've just mentioned in terms of what the objectives of the community are. Maybe a bit more technical language in terms of what's called digital public infrastructure, which can be termed as one of the targets of the community in terms of creating infrastructure that all of us can use, or being involved in at least assisting in developing the same. With that, another agenda item is we had wanted to propose, as a community, propose a leader, an industry thought leader who can work as a patron in some way. There's been proposals of some names. We can also, I can float the names, but also feel free if you want to throw your name into the ring right now to do the same. Then we also want to mention, beyond just some of the projects we're doing, possibly also create a small leadership team that can take ownership of a work plan. It's important as we meet as a community not to just share and discuss, but the community can have objectives to push language technologies and language AI forward within the space. And the community, particularly of practitioners, sits in an interesting place where we can connect both academia and industry by just coming in as practitioners. So I think with that said, allow me to just very quickly dive in maybe for the next 10 minutes into some of the work that we are doing at Think that we think we can share with the community. This is our sharing session, as Think will be the first. But feel free in later days to also propose to also share as well. So one of the proposals we have is to have this at least once every month. And this happens to, I think, be the last Friday of every month. So if it works well with most of you, then we can have it as a standing meetup for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. And if some of you are sufficiently generous enough, maybe Professor Mbui, you can invite us for a cup of tea somewhere, and one of the sessions can be physical, but we'll also look forward to that as well. Any comments, questions before I hop into maybe share some 2 or 3 projects we're working on? Okay, I think that's fair enough. So for us, I think the first project will that I'll lay out is a project on the smart speaker. We think that the smart speaker project is indeed a community project. Because we want the smart speaker to hear as many languages as possible. As it currently stands right now, I think we've collected about 5, we've done 5 languages, and we would like to, for this project, take, if there are any individuals interested within the space, Oscar Ondeng, I'm trying to hint a bit to you as well, being the electrical engineer in the room. The elements of the project that are engineering, electrical engineering, the elements of the project that are pure hardcore software engineering, DevOps management, and there are also some elements of the project that are related to the language. So this is a project that it's been built by quite a number of varied people. So the design of the project was done by an individual, a designer within IDEO. So he felt he was an extremely good designer. So we challenged him, and he was able to put his design in how the smart speaker looks. Then the engineering is done by a guy called Ken Abwao. I think he was in University of Nairobi at some point. He used to run the Fab Lab. So he's done that, and the fabrications, the current conversation. Unfortunately, I'm not showing a screen, David. But the smart speaker, it's in very many different presentations. I can try and put something together and share with you guys as well at some point. But just for the time being, bear with me. We've just come from an intense back-to-back conference, so I haven't been able to put a lot of this stuff together, but I hope I can fairly, thank you, I can fairly explain with words. Then there's so on the engineering side, we have Ken Abwao, also working. He was working together with an engineer who's currently called Solo Iboni, who's currently left for the UK to take up an engineering role there, a mechatronics engineer, a graduate also of University of Nairobi. So they're the ones who are doing the cards and the fabrication of the smart speaker as well. And we've had quite a bit of input in terms of advisory on the language from Dr. Wanzare, who has also been very, very helpful to give us some Doluo language data sets that we've also tried to train onto the same platform. So I think that's one project. It has multiple facets in terms of people to plug in. We just felt that that's one of the projects we can open up and have a discussion around. Then the second project also tied to it, which is a language resource center. So because in the journey of creating the different language models, we discovered that they're not there, and there's no use. You can't monopolize a language per se. So if you go onto language.think.ke, I think someone can, maybe Paul Etchell, you can check whether that is up, language.think.ke. You can actually see that's where we've put quite a number of our models. You'll see our ASR there, the ASRs, the PTSs, and the language identification algorithms are there for testing. So I think you can also abuse some of them. If you need to download and use them, I think there are a few of them that are also on Hugging Face. Our language engineer is not here. He's called Nick Mumero, but you can always reach to us, I think, and we can be very happy to share that with you as well. So I think for us, those are the two projects would be. Oh yeah, thank you very much for that, Paul Etchell. So language.think.k is where we've dumped quite a number of our models. And happy to share this if anyone can use them. So we've been moving around a number of the universities. Oscar Ondeng, we were at University of Nairobi last year. Shared quite a bit of this there as well. That's where we found Paul Echil. We picked him up when we passed by University of Nairobi. And we have invitations from Maseno. We didn't quite reach Maseno, but we were in the vicinity of Maseno. We went to Kisii University, collected quite a bit of Kisii language in the county as well. We were also in Embu and collected some Kiembu as well as some Kikuyu. Worked with a fellow called Mushiri and LDRI, who's also working with Dr. Wanzari on this as well. So part of this as well is for some of you who are lecturers, Professor Umbui, Dr. Wanzari, Oscar. We also are very happy and willing to share and train some of the students as well to do some startups around the space and to help each other as innovators around that. So I think those are the two we wanted to discuss. I know Professor Mbui and Dr. Wanzare, we can have a further discussion on this around Ken Corpus and see how we can probably fashion that in a way that can assist practitioners. But these are just the beginnings of those projects, and happy for your involvement and advice around the same. So I think with that, I can pause for a moment, take a couple of reactions and questions or comments if there are before we move to probably the next item I wished for us to discuss. Feel free.
Brian, even just creating this particular platform, because I think one particular to do very well is, creating these spaces. As we're saying, there are more benefits when we, especially for the continent. I think this is something that should have happened like yesterday, but I'm glad there's a start point. So it's just to and the team and everybody, and now sustainability, that consistency, able to work. For us, we're in academia. We have the youth. We're having in they're very about new areas. And I think looking at universities, these are going to be there for a while, so we'll be having students. Some of them maybe have just kindergarten in the next couple in uni, and therefore we're in the spaces how the enthusiasm, the interest, LLMs in the entire natural language, and can get grounded, maybe for the guys already free, and European government to be able to see, and I know for them they're seeing use cases and the potential of that, of what now digital public, so that we are seeing that in government services, or whether it's services, see how our people and all the many more people who don't understand, the ones who do, and if we can be able to talk to their hearts using a language that is to their hearts, then would have made a contribution in our life. We hand over the baton to the other people, our proteges. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Prof. I think I'm together with you on that, and if you actually challenge me a bit more, I'll basically also say that, you know, beyond the interesting use case that our setting has in terms of multiple languages, it's also very unique that if we try to actually build a project, for instance, that has extremely good language identification, that has the capability of, let's say, identifying 50 languages at runtime, I think that would be a first in the world. So you know, this is something that in a lot of the Western world is not there. I think they speak 2 or 3 languages. But if we're able to have and isolate these unique characteristics and challenges that our settings have, I think it's an area that we can end up building kind of a bit of groundbreaking work on. So the truth is there's also quite a bit that's happening around the continent. You guys probably know, if you're in the space, you know about Ghana NLP, and the South Africans are also extremely far ahead in terms of language technologies. I think for them it's because their government was also basically the setting of their country. They have 14 official languages, so they have quite a bit of that data set, the language data set, more or less sorted out. For us, I think there's quite an emphasis on English and Kiswahili, but as you said, there's a bit of other languages, and it's our identity, it's our culture. They might get lost. So I think, as you said, it's also something that's close to and should be close to our hearts. And that's why I think it's a good project to, well, not a good project, it's a good discussion to have in the open, where, you know, as practitioners, we all come together. Yes, there's a goal for personal development, but it's also a goal for more for community, more for national, more of a collective goal. So I'm happy, and hopefully this becomes a space where that can be achieved. If not, then maybe we join other spaces where hopefully that can be achieved as well. Thank you for that, Prof. Okay. I think the other thing I'd wanted to mention, I know that Prof, you've been involved with Ken Corpus. You are one of the first dawns in the space, and Dr. Wanzari as well. You've been involved with Ken Corpus as well. You've done useful work, part of it quite selfless. I'm sure when you started doing the work, some people were wondering what you were doing. But you seem to have a passion for the space. So it's no surprise that your 2 names actually came up as people we should request as thought leaders in the space, that can be individuals who are like our patrons or our co-patron. So at this point, I would like, unfortunately, we don't have the charter, we don't have anything, but with your kind permission, I would like to propose Dr. Wanzare, if Daktari, you can accept to be our patron, and Professor Mbui can deputize you as and when your availability might be challenged, but nevertheless, at the same time, I think the both of you can be very useful to offer us some direction, and also for us to point to you, you know, on matters language, at least within our industry space. So I would like to propose that. There's no formal way of accepting or rejecting. I don't know, maybe we'll come up with a voting structure or a way of voting. But maybe at this stage, I don't know whether we have a proposer and a seconder. I don't know. This is about around the first time we're attempting to do this. So maybe I can invite you, Dr. Wanzare, to just introduce your journey with language. From, I know you did you're very brief in what you said, but maybe just let us know about your journey with language. I know you did your PhD around language, and tell us about Corpus, what you're working on, maybe some future thoughts, and we can see whether that is sufficient to have you as our patron. Daktari, sorry for ambushing you, but your name was proposed.
Hello, Brian, and hello,
Yes.
everyone. I can see we have 12 minutes. That will require 2 hours. But let me see what I can do. Yes, so thank you, Brian, for organizing this idea of community of practice in the area of NLP. I hope at least all of us who are here have an idea what NLP is. At least it's, you know, language technology, language processing, computational linguistics. It depends on where you come from and how you want to call it. So yes, my background is in computational linguistics. So I did computer science, UN, like everyone else. And then I specialized in language science and technology for my master's, and computational linguistics for my PhD, all in Germany. So the whole idea is how you're able to process, it's just process text in a way that it enables our machines to be able to make meaning out of them. The making meaning could also mean, you know, so many things and so many applications around it. So with that journey, my interest has been now what we are all here. How come we don't have a representation of our languages in language technology tools? Okay, it's very difficult to find anything that is out there ready to use for our different languages, yeah, and asking ourselves whose responsibility is it for these tools to be made available for us. So in this regard, we are working on so that in Maseno, together with Professor Mbui in USIU and other universities like, you know, DKUT, Kabarak University, Masai Mara, we are looking at how are we able to fast get data that is required for us to be able to build models that are now going to be helpful for us to have our languages within NLP space. That is how Corpus came into being. It's just Kenya National Corpus, you know, Kenya Linguistic Corpus, whatever name you want to give it, but it's really just a corpus of Kenyan languages in a way that is able to be processed by machines for various tasks. It's just a beginning of what we want to be able to have as a collaborative movement in terms of making availability of data, and on top of it, building models. So what we have so far is, I think, 6 languages, I think. So this year we got a funding to revamp and collect a lot of data. By data, I mean twofold. It's just the text itself. So text in Kikuyu, text in Maasai, Somali, Luo, Kalenjin, and then the corresponding voice, okay? So that you have a mapping between the text and the voice. So the text itself can be used for many things, okay? And the combination of text and voice can also be used for like speech kind of models. But the main use case we're targeting are twofold. So it's speech and translations. But of course, they can be used to build language models, and the language models can be used for other, downstream tasks. So there's a lot of opportunity for those interested in NLP research to use the data and to build. So why we're having a community of practice is really, as the data is coming in, who is using it? It is us. So any of us who is interested in building some kind of model technology on top of this data, feel free to jump in, feel free to form groups, feel free to have use cases. It can be in health, it can be agriculture, it can be music, whichever use case you have in mind, and make use of this data to build something, because we are the ones who are supposed to be the first people to make use of this data and develop tools around it. So that is more or less the journey. So we are collecting texts for Kikuyu, for Toluo, for Kalenjin, Somali, and Maasai, yes, okay, currently. So hopefully we should be having around 3,000 hours of speech data across the different languages. So some have 800 hours, some have 400 hours, but at least in a way that is a first step to build ASR models for those languages and see what kind of use cases can we apply the ASR models to. Okay, so let's look at collaborations among that. On the side, we also work on sign language research. That is where Ezekiel comes in. We're working on sign language research. So we have collected a lot of video data with corresponding English data. So there's a mapping between the text, the voice, and the image, the video of the signer. Okay. So again, you're looking at modeling tools for sign language production and sign language recognition. So people in computer vision who want something to use to be able to help us to come up with technology, even for the hearing impaired and not just for the hearing people, you're also welcome. The data is also available, open sourced, okay? So again, that's another area of research to be able to join, to be able to form groups and be able to work. As you can see, there's still a very large, landscape for us to be able to play around with. I don't know if I've done justice or tried to do justice, Brian, but in a nutshell, yes, that's what you're working on. And you're really looking for the community to lead different projects and be able to put things out there for people to try and use.
Okay. I think that's a very good introduction in the form of a speech. I don't know whether there's anyone else who would want to be considered for patron. I mean, it's not that this is a political speech, but I think for us, we would just wish to have consensus around it. Dr. Wanzare has been proposed. Well, I could say the proposal has come from me, Brian Omwenga, and I'm wondering whether there's anyone who can second, but also if there's any objection, just let us know. I'm looking for a seconder. And it has to be unmuted so that it's on record. We're recording the session as well. Do we have a seconder? And there's silence, general silence, or someone.
It's seconded.
I can see that Paul seconded in the chat.
Paul seconded in the chat, okay. And I'm assuming there are no objections. So, anyway, Dr. Wanzare, as patron, I think this is something that is also evolving in terms of the role. But for us, I think you also represent the face of NLP. In the country. So we as a community will just be probably using you and your face, but these are things that, as I said, will just be evolving. All of us, of course. I mean, it's not that it's a special role. It's just also a recognition to just say, we're aware you're working on this all the time. You're building the space. You're contributing to the space. and you can offer some form of leadership, at least for the community on the same, and also help us chart out some form of some work plan as a community. I think one of them, which you've mentioned, which is fairly important and urgent, is to figure out where these data sets are and whether these data sets can be at a place where the practitioners can access, and also have a common discussion about how to build more of the data sets for the other languages. I think we're at 60 plus official languages in Kenya. And also to build the models around the same. So I think with that said, we have about 3 minutes. Allow me to open the floor for comments, thoughts, suggestions. Feel free to just put up your hand and give us your thoughts or contributions before we close. Open to anybody.
Sorry, teacher, but mine is to say, Dr. Wanzari, we call us Mama Ken Coppers. So, and rightly so, and we'll give you all the support. Again, to be vision for Coppers, and even much more as we're looking in more people. We should be able to make some progress. And just to add up what I think Ken Coppers, I think through a couple of master's students and in computer science, I've been able to, I know the University of Nairobi, we'd involved two at PhD level 1 and at Maseno of master's students and undergraduate students who are with what and the point again is to encourage people to work, because we're not saying perfect. If there are places that improved, we'll be very happy. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much, Prof. I agree with you. There are two particular people I think we need to add as practitioners. We need to look for those PhDs, as you've said. And I also would like us to, if you have any friends who are computational linguists, I know a couple from the universities. I'll also just make sure that we rope them in, so that we also have from the community of practice side, we can challenge the researchers to research relevant things for us. We are definitely going to make use of Ken Corpus, and we'll push it into at least the community smart speaker, the project we're working on. So we're also looking forward to that as well from you, Dr. All right. I think with that said, thank you guys for joining us for this NLP meetup. Thanks so much for your time. I look forward to us doing some good work, helping each other to at least get some work and some projects together, and also maybe collectively as a community to work with any of the other stakeholders to ensure that that we make the innovation space around language AI slightly easier for us and for generations to come. With that said, thank you very much. Enjoy your lunch. Let me not hold you guys back, and see you. in about 1 month. Sorry, there's someone who was speaking.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll also. So I happen to be in a place and with Dr. Vincent. So I thought of okay, where the academia. I mean, there are also guys of academia. You can also come in and say hi, and also possibly someday we'll do something with Strathmore. So here he is.
Brian, how are you?
Oh, sorry, is this the
This
VC
is
of
Vincent
Strathmore?
Ogutu.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, how are you?
So I'm not exactly participating in the meeting. I happen to be doing a marathon with Paul.
Oh,
It's
all right.
part of the Don Bosco fundraiser, Shrine to Shrine. So we're on our 34th kilometer.
Wow.
And he was in the meeting, but I was just tagging along behind.
All right,
But
all right.
yeah, good luck to you guys and great conversation I know you guys are having. And greetings
Wow.
to everyone here, Oscar
Thank
and
you.
all the other people that I know in the forum.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is a pleasant surprise, Buona VC.
Yeah.
You've been co-opted as a friend to the NLP community.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, I'm a big fan. So
Yeah,
definitely anything we can participate in, please rope us in.
we'll look forward to you hosting us one day for just a meetup, We'll look for you.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. Thanks everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, guys. Wow, that was interesting. Very, very interesting. Thanks a lot, guys. Let me not hold you back.
Who was able to join a meeting while running? If I understood correctly. Must be very skilled and good.
Those are ninja moves, man.
Yes.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Paul, for chasing the VC down for us.
Sure.
Dr. Wanzare, we are looking forward to Maseno VC. Edward Profombui, we're looking forward to USIU VC and Oscar also for the VC of University of Nairobi, although that I know is there's a story going on there. We'll wait for the proper VC and then you can invite them as well. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good afternoon. And as I said, high possibility that we'll have the meeting again at the end of the last Friday of next month. Thanks and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks.
All right, thank you.